Weihnachtsfrieden, the Christmas Truce, was a series of unofficial ceasefires that took place along the Western Front at Christmas 1914.
Through the week leading up to Christmas, German and British soldiers began to exchange seasonal greetings and songs between their trenches.
Hello, Tommy. Happy Christmas.
Hello, Fritz. Happy Christmas too.
On Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, soldiers from both sides mingled in no man's land, exchanging food and souvenirs.
An event documented in numerous letters from the front, as well as plays and poems. However, our presentation uses extracts from letters of German soldiers in the First World War to remind us that the experiences, hopes and dreams of the young soldiers were very similar, whichever side of the trench they were positioned.
These letters had been collected after the war by Professor Philip Witkop of Feinberg as a living memorial to those who had been killed during the war.
Altogether, there are more than 150 letters, all from students from universities and colleges, who responded to the call of arms in a similar way that young men did in England in 1914.
We are using the words of one young volunteer, Karl Aldag, about whom we know little more than the basic facts.
He was born on the 26th of January, 1889, at Oberkirchen.
He was 25 years old when the war broke out, and he was a student of philosophy at Marburg University.
This is what Karl records as his experience of that Christmas 100 years ago.
December 1914.
A warm wind from the sea rustles softly through the leafless treetops and almost drives the breath back into one's lungs. How long have we already been marching in the still moonlight? There are riders on the country road. A group of refugees passes, almost without a sound.
The children whimper softly.
The older ones creep by, hollow-eyed with faces of dumb misery.
We are getting near the front. Smashed up carts, ammunition wagons.
Here and there a dead horse lies with its legs stretched out and its neck sunk into the boggy ditch.
Then, the dead soldiers. In the distance glows a burning farm.
Now we have arrived. In half an hour our cover is prepared.
Or a rest after the long march.
Only occasional sentry, rifle over his shoulder.
Peers watchfully into the palely flickering lights on the plain.
Not a movement anywhere. Quiet night in the trenches.
Christmas in the trenches.
Morning dawns in glowing colours over the distant forest. Dark rain clouds edged by the sun with purple and gold drive before the morning wind. Into our cold, stiff limbs creeps gradually the warmth of the coming day.
It will be a strange kind of Christmas this year, so contrary to the gospel of love. I honestly believe that this year the feast of Christmas will make a deeper impression than ever and will bring a blessing to many, in spite of war.
The trenches were full of mud and water. Water from below and rain from above.
We slave every day and night, shoveling the earth and pumping out the water.
But it is all in vain. The rain still goes on falling.
The English had been singing hymns that evening. On our side too, the beautiful old songs resounded, with only now and then an odd shot in between.
Happy Christmas, Fritz!
Happy Christmas, Tommy. Fröhlich Weihnachten, Tommy.
Ja, ja! Happy Christmas, Fritz!
The sentry posts were decorated with fir branches and tinsel from home. So too the dugouts. Then, at 10 o'clock, another company arrived, and we marched to our billets, about an hour and a half away.
It was the clearest, most beautiful night we had seen for a long time. just as still and pure as Christmas ought to be. It was freezing too, which put an end to the mud and the filth.
I thought much about home.
It was delightful to see all the men standing together, while their names were read out and the parcels handed out.
They were all like real Christmas children, as they knelt before their packages and burrowed into them, in a manger, in a cowhouse, as on that first holy night.
In the evening we had a real Christmas celebration. There were 2 big trees all lit up with candles.
We got everything we could have possibly wished for.
Knitted gloves,
Tobacco.
Cake.
chocolate and sausages.
Lieber gifts, sent by anonymous donors from all over Germany to soldiers at the front.
Then the colonel and the chaplain came in. The Bible story of Christmas was read, and the dear old hymns were sung again.
On Christmas Day, I shall be with you in thought all the time, and I cannot do more than wish you a devout, holy Christmas, which will bring blessings and joy into the house, and trust in the love of God who will protect us all.
I have been singing our Christmas hymns with great delight, and we are moved with the most devout feelings.
We sing them in our rest billet, a big, warm cow barn, with a little lit up Christmas tree, which somebody has had sent from home.
I realise now the whole mystery of the redemption and the miracle of the incarnation, as I never did during any sermon.
I can have no better support than the thought that you are praying for me. I have perfect confidence in the future.
And this firm faith, in which we all humbly live, will give beauty and fortitude to our Christmas.
New Year's Eve he was very odd.
An English officer with a white flag came across and asked for a truce from 11 o'clock till 3.
To bury the dead.
Just before Christmas there were some fearful attacks here, in which the English lost many men.
The truce was agreed.
It's good not to see those corpses lying out there anymore.
So, the truce was extended.
Good morning, Fritz! Good morning, Fritz!
Good morgen, Tommy.
How are you today, Fritz?
We are good. Thank you, Tommy.
Why don't you come over here, Fritz?
No, thank you, Tommy. If I come, I get shot.
Oh, no, you won't, Fritz. Promise. Come on.
No, thank you, Tommy.
We've just got a fresh supply of fags, Fritz. Players navy cut. Beautiful.
Fags? What is fags, Tommy?
Cigarettes, Fritz. Cigarettes.
You come halfway and I meet you.
All right, Fritz. I'm coming over now. See you in no man's land.
Very good, Tommy. I bring best German cheese.
Hey, look. They're climbing over the top.
Put your rifles down quick!
He's waving a flag.
They're coming this way.
Hallo, Tommy. Alles gut, ja?
I beg your pardon? What'd you say?
Bitte schön. Please, cigarette, Tommy?
Be my guest, Fritz. Help yourself. Keep the pack, take the lots.
Best German cheese, Tommy. From my father to you.
Oh, blimey. Très bon, Fritz. Très bon.
No, that's French, you idiot.
Wunderbar, Fritz! Wunderbar!
So, now there is an extraordinary hush, which seems quite uncanny. Our men and theirs are standing up on the parapet above the trenches.
Hey, Fritz. This is photograph of me wife and me dog Back in England.
Yes, yes. Look, Tommy, this is one photo of my mutter in Germany.
The English soldiers came out of their trenches into no man's land and exchanged
Cigarettes.
Tin meat.
Our photographs.
They said they didn't want to shoot anymore.
That couldn't go on indefinitely. So, I sent a message across to say that they must get back to their trenches, as we were going to start firing again.
The English soldiers answered,
We're not going to obey these orders. We don't want to go on fighting. We've had enough, Jerry. Up to our waists in water and sleeping in wet trenches.
It's Christmas, my friend. We want to go home to see our wives, our children, mothers and fathers.
the English really are much dirtier than we are, because they have much more water in our trenches.
Naturally, we didn't want to shoot either, because our communication trench is always full of water, so we were very glad to walk among the top without any risk.
Hey, Fritz. Suppose the old English army goes on strike and those gentlemen in London decide to chuck the old business.
Some of our lieutenants went over and signed their names in an album belonging to the English officers. Then, one day, an English officer came to say,
Listen here, old boy, we are very sorry, but the High Command has given orders to fire on your trench again, and so your men must take cover at once.
And then, a few minutes later, the artillery began to pound our trenches with great violence, but, thank God, without inflicting any casualties.
On New Year's Eve, we called across to each other.
And we agreed to fire a salvo together at midnight.
It was a very cold night.
We sang songs, and they clapped.
We were only 50 or 60 yards apart.
Sing up, Tommy. Give us another song.
No, that's not Tommy. That's those Welsh sods in the next trench.
No, that's Tommy. It's an hymn.
No, listen. It's a Christmas carol. Listen.
I wouldn't have thought they had carols. Do they have carols like ours?
Of course they do.
Oh, next thing you'll be telling me is they have Christmas pudding as well.
Are they playing the mouth organ?
Happy Christmas, Tommy.
No, they're playing the bagpipes, aren't they?
Must be the Scots Guard.
Oh, with their short petticoats and their bare legs.
Play one of those sad songs you Tommies like so much.
Then, at midnight, we fired salvos into the air. The very lights crackled above us just like fireworks and waved our torches and cheered for them.
3 cheers for the Tommies! Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip!
Hooray!
Hip hip!
Hooray!
Happy Christmas, Fritz!
Happy Christmas, Tommy.
Happy New Year, Fritz!
Happy New Year, Tommy!
Happy Christmas, Ken. Happy Christmas, Klaus.
Happy Christmas, John. Happy New Year, Jürgen.
Happy Christmas, Freddie. Happy New Year, Felix.
Happy Christmas, Harry. Happy New Year, Heinz.
Karl Aldag was killed just 2 weeks later, on the 15th of January, 1915, near Fromelles.
He was just 25 years old.
Lest we forget.
All the young men on both sides of the trenches. Their names liveth forevermore.